Hey everyone, and welcome back to DIY with Melissa. Today I have a fun project for you. I'm going to show you just how I went about creating this design. As you can see, it's a patterned paper with some wording on it. The wording I'm getting on there by using Cricut's markers that are available or pens that are available. So we have a fine point pen set over here, and then we have some other options, some calligraphy, and some regular markers, and in different sizes. So I'm going to just show you how I went about getting this set up on Design Space, and we'll move over to the craft table so I can show you how to get it to write and cut. I did these the other day, you may have seen on my shorts. I was really happy with how they turned out versus printing them. And the fonts are gorgeous. There's so many pretty writing fonts. So this is really if you are wanting one of the writing fonts instead of just a regular font, this will be the perfect tutorial for you. So without further ado, we're going to head to the computer and get this project started. We are back at the computer and I'm going to show you just how I went about creating the design and how I forced Cricut to print, then write, and then cut. As you can see, I have an Easter bunny in here. I have a patterned piece or patterned square, and I have some wording. So you're going to bring in whatever you want. You may remember I created the design with the little inspirational cards, and there were a lot of spring flowers at the back of those cards. So this is the exact same process I use to do that, except that I use spring flowers and a square. This time I'm going to do it with a shape and an Easter pattern. So once you have your shape in that you want, so like I said, mine was going to be a bunny, but you could do the squares like I did on the previous one. I will pop a photo of that at the top here, just so you can see what I'm talking about in case you didn't see that video. Easter patterns, I just went to images and I searched up Easter patterns and a few came up. If you have a place like Creative Fabrica or design bundles that you maybe grab designs from, you can also grab your designs from there. So this can match any project you have to complete if you do search through here, but also Cricut does have some nice options as well that will do the job well as well. That will do the job as well. Easter Bunny, I did the same thing. I just searched up Easter Bunny and some options came up. I use this guy here, but there are some really cute other ones. This actually is really cute with the little heart as the bum. Um, so yeah, it's totally up to you. Oh, there's this one. Actually, I might use the one with the heart. And I'm going to turn it. If you didn't know, if you want this image to be facing the opposite direction, at the top here, there's flip, and we can say flip horizontal. Flip vertical, we'll flip it upside down. So just keep that in mind when you bring images in and you want it to be a specific way. Okay, I actually like this much better. I like the little heart. So now that we have our bunny in on our canvas together with our patterned paper, I'm going to place the bunny on top of the patterned paper. And from here, if you really want to see what it's going to look like, under operation, we can hit the down arrow. You can change this to pen. When you change this to pen, this shows you what the inside is going to look like. So you can adjust it as you feel necessary. And I'm fine with that. We will now select both portions, so the Easter bunny and the carrots, and we're going to hit on slice. Now we can remove our excess, including the outline, and now we have our bunny. I'll bring the grid lines on to make it a little bit more noticeable. Actually, I'm just going to change the color of this. There we go. If you didn't know that, at the bottom here, bottom right, we have, it says blank canvas. If you click on it, the color option shows up, which allows you to change the color of the canvas. Once you have your design ready, we're then going to add our wording. I did find this cute little saying on the internet. It says Happy Easter to somebody who's very special to me, and I want to place that within here. You're going to set it up however it is you want to. I'm going to bring it to the front. And before I do anything more, I'm actually going to change the font because we need it to be a writing font. If we change this to writing right now, it's going to have, and I hope you can see that, it's going to be more so an outline on this font. So this is just going to give you the outline and we're not going to be able to get it to fill. There are ways to get your letters to fill. There are hacks that you can use. I'm not going to show that today. I am just going to show you how to use the writing fonts that Cricut has available. Under font, and we're going to search through our Cricut fonts, there is this little, it's a filter. I don't know what you would call this button here. This brings up your filters that you can use for your fonts. When we check off writing, Cricut will then filter all the fonts that will allow us to write. And I can't promise you that it's going to be perfect, but it does do a pretty decent job. We can now search through these fonts and make a decision on which one we like best. And this is the part that can be a little cumbersome because now you have to just keep choosing through fonts and deciding if you like it or not. I actually don't mind doing this. I think it's very relaxing. This font is actually really nice, and I think I might actually go with this one. But please, as you can see, the filter is still on, and it's showing me still any fonts that are available that I can write with. And of course, as you may know, Cricut just updated their design space to give you a preview of what the font will look like. And it's in the words that we have as well. So I really like that they did that. And I really like this font as well. And I think I'm going to go with that. Once you have your font in place and you're happy with it, you want it in the spot that you want Cricut to write it in as well. You will take the words and your bunny that you've already put your pattern into. So we're going to select both portions and we're going to hit attach. What Cricut will do now is it's going to send this to the printer, and we'll see that when I move along here. Send this to the printer, then I'll ask you to put on your mat and put your pen in. It will then write, and then when it's finished writing, it will cut. So we'll hit make. Here's our design. We'll hit continue, and we'll hit send to printer. Now, don't panic. As you can see, the writing is gone, but not to worry. When we move to the craft table, you'll see exactly how it's going to work out. So I'm going to go ahead and print this. Our project is now printed. I'm going to go ahead and choose the cardstock setting. And now, as you can see, Cricut is asking me to load my black 0.4 pen into clamp A. Clamp B has my fine point blade, and I'm going to insert the mat. So I'm going to move over to the craft table, and we're going to get this written on and cut. One last thing I want to show you is there are other pen options. I used the 0.4 tip black pen for this portion, but I wanted to show you there are other options. Cricut has a slew of options when it comes to pens available, so we're going to go through that quickly. When you have your wording in Design Space, so this is my wording, I'm using BFC Jolly Santa. It's a writing font, and I've brought it in here. Under Operation, where it says Pen, right next to it has this square here. So initially it was set up to be like so. And that would have written on my cardstock exactly like this, which is exactly like what we did to this one over here. But I want to try the other pen options available. So when I click on the down arrow, our other options show up here. Cricut has the names on the side of their pen, which I'll show you when I'm under the camera, as to what is what. Cricut has some gel pens. They also have some calligraphy pens as well in 2mm and 2.5mm. The calligraphy ones come in black and gold, but the markers, for instance, they have some few more colors. There's a 1mm that has a slew of colors. The glitter pens also come in quite a number of colors. And the gel pens, same thing. They're gorgeous. So you do get a different effect, especially if you're using a calligraphy pen or a glitter gel pen. You will have a different effect on your cardstock that you most definitely could not get with the glitter one. You could not get with printing it directly on. Like I said, to me, the pen does pop more than when you flatten your design you flatten your words onto your design. I feel like there is a big difference between the look of the two projects. Again, personal preference, but I'm here to show you this option. So I'm going to choose the calligraphy pen for this one in gold. And I just brought in this pattern here. I don't know what it's called, gingham pattern, I think is what it's called. And as I said, I searched Easter patterns, and that's how I found that one right here. And I did the exact same thing. I sliced the bunny shape out of the pattern, and I got it to look like this. Now I have my wording on. I'm going to select all the words and the bunny, and I'm going to click on attach. I'm going to hide this bunny for now since I already did that one, and we're going to move over and get this printed. If you add a bleed to your project, it's going to almost make the ink appear as if it's outside of your design a little bit more, so that when Cricut cuts, there will be no white space. It's going to only have the design on it. You can do that if you like. I'm not going to do it in this instance, and I'm going to go ahead and print. We have our mat ready, and just a little tip. When cutting cardstock, try not to use a brand new mat or a mat that is partially brand new. Your cardstock is going to stick to the mat and it's going to make quite the mess. I've had it just rip to the point where it's like ripping a portion of the paper and it's stuck to the mat, which is really frustrating. This mat I've been using for quite some time, and as you can see, my cardstock is not falling off. I did use a braying tool to bray it to the mat. I am using a long mat. It's just one that I have going, and I tend to just keep using mats until they lose their stickiness altogether. And this one is starting to lose stickiness for my heat transfer vinyl, but for cardstock, it's still been working. So you need a mat that is pretty sticky, that your cardstock is not going to shift when it's in the machine, but like I said, not too sticky. If you're using vinyl or heat transfer vinyl, those are better for those mats that are really sticky because your vinyl won't shift, but then it's going to come up with no issues and no tearing, unlike cardstock, which it will likely tear or rip or whatever the case may be. So I'm going to pop this into the machine now. I am using a Cricut 0.4 tip black pen for this project, and all you're going to do is take the cap off, of course, open the A compartment and click that pen down. Once your pen is in place, we're going to hit start on our machine and get this going. Cricut was just reading the registration marks. Now, as you can see, it's writing the wording that we had. So I did try to print and then cut one of those cards that I created, and I have to say I didn't like how the print came out versus the marker being used. Now it's going to cut our bunny out. And there you go. I always like to check it before pulling it off, pulling the mat out. And voila. How simple was that? Such a cute way to design something for the holidays, and this can be used in so many different ways. Mother's Day is coming up, Father's Day is coming up, we have summer coming, so it would be cute for the kids for little name tags. Of course, back to school, Halloween, and Christmas. You could use this technique for so many reasons. You will see I'll be doing something for a tablescape soon, and it's gonna look really cute, and I can't wait to show you. So this is one of the techniques I will be using for that tablescape. And just to show you, this is what it looks like when it's printed versus when the marker is used to write on it. You can see it's much bolder with the marker than it is as a printed version. Of course, you could get a more bold font and print it that way, but I don't know. I just really like the look of this. This one almost seems like it's actually on top of the design versus the printed version, but personal preference, of course, and this is my personal preference as it stands right now. All right, we're gonna go through all of the markers that I have. I don't have all of the markers that Cricut has, I don't think, but I have quite a few. So this is the plain 0.4 tip black pen that Cricut has, which is what I used on this bunny here. Cricut also has these ones. So we have the calligraphy one in the 2.5 gold, which they also have in silver. I don't think I have silver though. We have a medium tip 1.0 in silver, which is really pretty actually. Put it here. They have the calligraphy 2.0 in gold, medium tip 1.0 copper, some more golds, the gel 0.8 glitter gold, which is also really pretty. I don't know if you can see that, but it's gorgeous. And then they have, oh, they have the same thing. So this is a gel tip 0.8 glitter gold as well. So they're the same, just different packaging. The 2.0 black calligraphy, 2.0 gold calligraphy, 1.0 medium tip in gold, I think it was, or sorry, silver. They also have the extra fine point pen set. This one is Spring Rain, with all of these gorgeous colors. And I have some other ones here, 0.4 tip, raspberry, purple. These ones are also really pretty. So you get the gist of it. There's a few options to choose from when it comes to Cricut pens that you can use. So again, this is completely up to you and the design you are hoping to see. So I'm going to show you the calligraphy one because that one's going to look really good. So for this one, I'm using the gold 2.5 calligraphy pen, and like I said, you can just see the information of the pen on the side of the pen. I also store these pens facing downwards like this in my little pen holder. I don't know if it's true or not, but I feel like the ink will stay down and won't dry out your pens. There is unfortunately issues with that. People have commented, I've seen in the past, pens drying out. So to help it not dry out, I just store them upside down to try to prevent that. And there you have it. It looks gorgeous on the cardstock and it pops so nicely. Of course, with the calligraphy pen, you can most definitely use a calligraphy font to write with instead of, I'm just using a regular font here instead, but it still looks amazing. So I hope you give this a try. It was a lot of fun when I made the little cards. Didn't see them before. These are little cards that I created. I really liked how they came out. And I did these cards in the same way I did these today. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. If you did, don't forget to give me the thumbs up. Hit that bell button so you're notified when I post new videos. And of course, subscribe. I hope you guys are having fun over here. I see your comments. I've been trying to reply to them. And if I have missed you, please forgive me. I will get to it. But thank you so much for all the lovely comments. You all are absolutely amazing. Until next time, I hope you have a fabulous week ahead. Take care. Have a great week. Bye now.